Wichita's Visit Is, and our guests today, Gary Oborny and Trish Brasted. And we had sort of gotten the Wichita Technology Corporation made the link with WSU. We talked a little bit about how it started. What are the new directions? What are we doing these days?
Sure. I'm glad you asked. One of the things I mentioned was that we're trying to engage the entrepreneurial population in Wichita to get them to the table to kind of come out and have a voice of their own. About 4 or 5 months ago, we went to an event in Kansas City called Unconference. It's kind of a new concept that's going around the country, and it's an open format event that really is to help facilitate activity and conversations. So we're planning at the ICT Unconference. It's going to be Tuesday, April 22nd here in Wichita at the Marriott. It's an all-day event, and we're really just trying to engage all of the entrepreneurs that we can get to show up, and all of the ecosystem and the people that support the conference. One of the attributes of the conference is we have 10 mentors and 10 ambassadors, and they're sort of the folks that will promote the event as we go along up until the event, and then help facilitate the discussions that day. And so we've asked Gary. Gary's one of our ambassadors and a mentor. He's been very active in the entrepreneurial scene, so we're glad to have Gary, and Gary and I are out talking to everybody about what the event's going to be like. So
sure, and part of the priorities with the ICT conference is some of the priorities that we have for working with the community, especially from the entrepreneurship side. So we need to start to have some diversification in Wichita, and this is another part of the programming to be able to do that. So from a standpoint with being an ambassador for the Unconference is to be able to come in and promote and get the word out to everybody in the Wichita community and surrounding area. The second part is the mentoring side. And the mentoring side is be able to put experienced business people that have had all kinds of diverse backgrounds in business together with all these young, budding, new entrepreneurial candidates, and be able to help them with facilitating their move towards starting and activating a business.
You're focused on the entrepreneurs. This is interesting because it's like trying to herd cats, isn't it?
You know, and Trish would probably also be able to relate to this, but it is because entrepreneurship comes in many forms, shapes, and sizes, and it's really a very abstract concept. And so you've got people that are inventors. You've got an entrepreneurial person that might be an accountant or a CFO, someone that is an attorney. So they come from all shapes and sizes and all different types of characters, and sometimes very independent mindsets, because what they're doing is they're trying to take something from zero and find an inertia and drive through all the hurdles that might happen in starting an entrepreneurship business and get it to the market. And that's not easy, so it takes someone with a pretty tough mindset to be able to do that, and sometimes that person is very independent mindset also.
Oh, I know. When I hear it sometimes, I sit around and I think, well, let's see. I wonder if I could get Henry Ford to come to that. I wonder if I could get Steve Jobs to come to that. You know, I wonder.
Well, and it's interesting because the concept of the Unconference is that it's attendee-driven content. And so what happens is we have a website that's up. The entrepreneurs pick and choose the content, the challenges or the questions that they may have, or discussions they want to get going. And what happens is they put their content up on the website. The very morning that we all get there, we spend an hour actually voting and picking what the topics are going to be for the day. So it's much different than when you go to a conference and you've got somebody that's going to stand up in front of a room and speak and give a PowerPoint, and you miss all of the activity and all of the expertise and knowledge that's in that room. This is totally driven by the people who are going to be there all day, and hopefully the end result of this is that we're going to come up with some ideas that we can actually take into action. And by giving the entrepreneurs the opportunity to have a voice and to choose what the topics are going to be, and to get out on the table and have discussions about the things that are important to them in starting and growing their business, I'm excited about that because it's a completely different format, and I'm really looking forward to the day.
Why should the person on the street in Wichita care? I mean, why the emphasis here? I know this is part of our economic development strategy, but why?
Well, I think it makes the community stronger. And so one thing that we continue to relate to in Wichita is the opportunity with jobs. So if you take an entrepreneur and he starts a business, then hopefully what happens over a time period, he starts to scale that business up, and he goes from 10 employees to 25 employees to 50 or 100. And every once in a while you hit a nice home run and you have someone that really turns into a Microsoft or a Zappos or something of that nature. And so that's a big part of this element. And that's why the community in general, even though they may not feel or interested in entrepreneurship, the direct benefit from that is the opportunity to be able to go work for a good company that develops in Wichita, stays in Wichita, homegrown in Wichita, and gives the opportunity to have employment with that particular company.
Well, I happen to agree with you. But so often in the media and sometimes with government leaders, the whole focus is, well, I'm going to go to Thailand and bring back a company, or I'm going to go to Germany or wherever it happens to be. The data I've seen says that's not where the job growth is. Mm-hmm. It's 91% local.
Yeah, it's all net new job growth is going to be the entrepreneurial companies. Mm-hmm. Yeah, studies have shown that. And it's about getting some collision density in our community so that these people are colliding and starting and thinking about that. And I'll be, I've been doing this for 20 years. We really never have had an entrepreneurial strategic plan or focus for the city, county, for our area here in Wichita. There was a statewide focus. It's time for our community to step up and have a strategic plan of some sort. And I hate to say that because, man, we do a lot of planning and then no action ever gets going, because I'm just about done with all the planning and no action. This is about how can we do something meaningful, for benefit of our entrepreneurship and our economy in Wichita.
Is about strategic activation.
There you go.
All right, we'll come back. We'll play with the words in just a minute when we have more of Wichita's Biz That Is.